Hi everyone, my name is Dmitry and this week I went to do a photo shoot at one of the worst locations I've ever been and was able to get some amazing pictures. So in today's video I want to just show you a few tricks on how to analyze maybe a bad location and find the right places, the right spot to take pictures. So here's the situation. We get to the stable. Speak with the owner of the horse. They tell us we're gonna walk you to the beach. Turn out the beach is behind a fish plant, and it's as we get here there it's tiny beach, ugly, everything's dirty. As you can see here, everything is dirty. That was pretty much the whole of the beach. There was a little bit behind. Just to show you a little bit, the beach was maybe this side. What you see is probably this old beach there. So there was rocks right there, which you can see right now. Come on. There was rocks that you can see right there. There was a little bit of trees right here. And then here was the fish plant. Let's try to draw a nice fish. And there was a sort of a creek going down in the middle there, and then there was cement blocks all over there going into the ocean, and there was even a blue sewage pipe right there. And there was sand there. There was a little sand dune there that you can see right here, but all this was all dirty sand. So we had a small patch of sand there, a little bit of rocks, a few bigger rocks that you don't see on this image, but that's it. That's all there was. So the options were really narrow. I'll show you a little bit. There was a few rocks like this that could be used for different things. That was the other side where the cement blocks were. You can see blue sewage pipe, cement blocks. So that side wasn't really pretty. And on the back, on the right back, there was a fish plant. This is probably the prettiest part of the fish plant with the red roofs, but on the side there was containers, all kind of colors. It wasn't really pretty, and you can see a lot of debris all over that are blurred out, but still not really pretty. So what can you do with a scene like this? So what you have to do first is find the least destructive part of the scene. And also, always keep in mind that no matter where you shoot, no matter what the location is, the most important part of your photo is always your subject. So you need to find places that put your subject first, that makes sure your subject is the main part of the image. So you gotta find places that doesn't have a lot of distractions and that goes well with your subject. So you don't wanna, if your subject is dressed in green, might not be a good idea to put them in front of a green tree, for example. So you've got to find the location and always be mindful of the sun. So if we get back here, the sun was right here and going this way. Where can we shoot here? The rocks were kind of interesting, so we could shoot in this direction. So that would be option one. So we have one option. The trees were okay, but there was you'll see in one of the pictures the trees were okay, so you could use the trees in this one. Kind of beats the purpose though. You're at the beach, you don't want trees, you want the ocean. And of course there's the option of shooting anywhere from here, so that would be option number 3, to this, anywhere in this sort of directions with the ocean in the back. If you don't take too much of this dirty stuff right there and shoot maybe a little further, you can get some good shots there. The other option would be 4. You can still from the dune right there, you can still shoot in that direction even if the cement blocks are there. you can still shoot in that direction, and they can create like a sort of a good line in the ocean. So that was pretty much the only options there was there. That's it. No other options. So I had to always position the subject in those areas. So and also taking into consideration the sun with the clouds moving in front of it on and off throughout the session. The first one I want to show you is the most obvious one. You shoot your subject close, you blur the background, and when you do shots like this, this one's pretty blown out. Let's see if I can probably recover some of that highlights. There, that's a little better. So if you do this and blur the background, the things you've got to be careful about is, watch the lines. Make sure the lines make sense. You can kind of see the horizon there, which is a good place. These lines are kind of leading line, and the colors also works well. The brown tone with your, and the white, everything kind of goes well here. And these colors are not too distracting. You can kind of post-process them. This image is not post-processed, so this is probably distracting, but that too could crop a little bit, get rid of that. But be mindful of the shapes. You don't see the details, but still be mindful of the shapes. If there was if this hill would go through her head like this, that might not look as good as having the white background there behind her head and this darker part there. So yeah, so be mindful of that. This not a good shot. Like I said, the sun was partially blocked and then came out in and out from behind the clouds, and a shot like this was really hard. We tried to use a rock to get her higher, but the horse didn't want to cooperate. We probably had about 2.5 seconds to shoot this, and I didn't do a good job with the highlights. They're way too high, and yeah, the horse just kept pushing her off the rock, so we couldn't get a good shot of that. But we tried, try to use small elements to your advantage. And this was shooting towards the ocean, and the debris here, you can see them, but they're not too distracting, and they don't appear ugly or anything. So that in this way it's okay, but it's not the best background. Again, there's prettier beach that would do a better job than that. The other thing, you can shoot in the sun with the rocks. So here, same thing. This is not edited, but I'm pretty sure I could do a good job with this, maybe by warming it up a little bit and adding a little bit of contrast maybe, and dehaze a little bit. Maybe the other way. There you go. This is already a little better, but shooting to the sun can create a nice flare and nice mood to the shot. I love the dust, the sand dust that goes up, that's highlighted by the sun. And here again, be careful of your background. See how the background is not cutting into the subject. This whole part here is completely, if I would go lower and have her head maybe here, that wouldn't make a really quite good shot. I could be a little higher, but this turned out really good. But be aware of the background. Again, use the part that are least distracting to your subject. Now this one, I used the trees and the sun again to, as you can see, trees, there was a lot of dead trees. These one were leafless. Over here we don't really see them, so they're not too bad, but all there was just brown branches. We have a little bit of greenery there, and these ones on the ground were kind of colorful. But again, this shot, the fact that these two are to the side of the subject works well. This two also, there's nothing like really crossing the subject. These two elements there and that tree and this here creates some nice background element. We've got a small branch, trunk there. There was something there. We removed it, but still, it's a little dirty. Too bad. Would be make a much cooler shot to have nice golden sand all over. But still, the sun that reflects here, really neat. And then we kind of played with sand and make it, because the sun was glowing from behind, making like almost gold dust. So we played around with this, and this one is really neat, where she just sort of twirled the sand and it just goes around her head. So it was pretty awesome. So play around with the elements that you have: sun position, rocks, background, and then finally the shot that I showed at the beginning was probably one of my favorite shots that I've ever done. And all we did was we walked the horse right here on this sand dune, and I was positioned right there, probably a quarter of an inch from the water, to create a nice reflection. And that is this shot. So we were blessed with amazing sky. I got so low to that puddle that was in front that you almost don't see the horizon and the ocean behind the sand. So that creates like just this line and these reflections. So it's eliminating everything that is not good about the scene and just focusing on the few things that works, which are the amazing sky and the amazing subject, Zoe, and Puddle, the horse. The horse was called Puddle. And I took a few of those, which are really neat. This one I kind of made the magenta pop out, and this one's a little closer. There's a rock there. That's too bad. I think that might be photoshoppable, but I do really like that splash that the horse does right there. And I like in this one how the clouds are merging towards the center. So that's it. That's what I wanted to talk about. Just when you get to a location, even if it's a beautiful location, marvelous buildings, or ruins or canyons or whatever it is, even if it's so beautiful, your goal is still to make your subject look good. It doesn't matter the background. You still have to do the same thing. You'll have to isolate your subject. Make sure the head is either in a cleared area that nothing kind of goes behind the head, the body, or like in this shot, the horse is completely visible. There's nothing that distracts behind the horse, and that what's make an image like this so powerful, is the subject is so clear. So no matter what the location is, always pay attention to where your subject is. Make your subject pop. Pay attention to the colors and tone in the background compared to your subject. Does that work? And all those elements. Use the sun. Be careful of the sun. The sun can be tricky, but if it's sunny, use the sun to your advantage in a scene like that, to like the shot I showed where the sun was flaring. That kind of removed the attention from the background, because it becomes more subtle. So yeah, you can use depth of field to blur the background, but again, be careful of where the background is. The color, the tone, the lines in the background are still very important. Even if your background is blurred out, you can still make sure that your shot is solid just by the way you frame your image with the background. So I hope that was useful. If you have other tricks or things that you look up for, make sure to share them in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. Why not? I usually don't ask, but go ahead. And yeah, we'll talk again in another video. I hope that was useful to you. Keep shooting, go out there, take pictures, and have fun. Bye bye.